How's it going, everybody? Texas Man here. I hope you guys are all having an amazing day. Hit that bell notification button so you guys don't miss out on future videos. Make sure to subscribe if you guys haven't. And if you guys have subscribed, thank you guys for doing so. At the time we were recording this video, we are at 90 subscribers strong. Thank you if you guys are brand new. Thank you guys who have been enjoying all my book read-throughs and all my other content. I cover movies, music, video games, TV shows, and airsoft guns here on the Texas Man channel. Also, make sure to friend and follow me for free on Twitch at Douglas447. It's got a Detective Pikachu icon. Again, that's Douglas447 on Twitch, completely free. Make sure that when you're typing it in, Douglas447, you use a capital D at the beginning. There is another Douglas447 on Twitch that has a lowercase d. So make sure you friend and follow the correct one so you guys don't miss out on streams that I do. I do Call of Duty, Battlefield, Overwatch, Destiny, Halo, Warface Breakout, and a bunch of other games. And if there's a game that you guys want me to stream on Twitch or here on YouTube, please let me know in the comment section of this video. And with that, we're going to be continuing on reading through the Final War, Regime Rising. This is part 4, and I know that the past 3 parts, which I encourage you to check out if you guys haven't, have been extremely long. They've been 30 to 50 minutes long. This part is going to be really short. We've only got like 9-10 pages to read. So the last 2 chapters are really short. So this will be a much shorter video. And I know that you're like, my goodness, you should have divided this book up into more parts. I could have, but I've been having a lot of time where I have like an hour slot available to read. So I apologize if the videos are long. There is a pause button for you guys if that's really an issue for you. But yeah, so this video is going to be short, and we're going to be concluding the first part, the first book trilogy in the Final War, and I'm really looking forward to it. So if you guys don't remember, we're going to be picking up at chapter 9 called Dead. At the end of part 3, we had the gigantic battle on the planet Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog showed up, got killed by Darth Vader, and a bunch of forces, both on the good and bad guy side, died. The Holy Trinity is dead, and Darth Vader and Octopunny are also dead, and basically the core is about to be exterminated. There isn't really much of a core army anymore, and their regime has basically taken over the universe. We're going to see a lot more of that influence of the fact that the regime has won, that the bad guy army has won. We're going to see a lot more of that impact at the end of this book, and a lot in the second book. So I hope you guys all enjoy. And if my voice sounds weird, it's because I'm kind of out of breath. I just finished a run, so do bear with me. And if there's any background noise, I do apologize. As you guys can tell, I'm not in my normal setup. I've got some things going on in my personal life, and so my normal studio kind of is a disaster at the moment. So for this video and probably the next several, I'm going to be outside, and I'll probably have a fan going because from time to time it's like 95 degrees outside, and I don't want to die of a heat stroke. So do bear that in mind. So I hope you guys enjoy, and enough of me rambling. Enjoy me reading through part 4. Chapter 9, Dead. How? Asked Nikolai. The answer to how to end Unit Alpha is simple. However, I have a different task for you, said Halo. What is that, my lord? Asked Nikolai. I want you to travel to the planet Ashbeka was teleported to, and hold him there as a prisoner of war. Because Morg is dead, he is no longer mind-controlled, and will not be easy to hold on the new regime homeworld, said Halo. My army of 5,000 T-180s and I will depart immediately, said Nikolai. While you guard Ash, Darth Update, Octopunny, Satan, and I will take the army of 3,000 troops to hunt down Unit Alpha, said Halo. The 2 armies left the planet Sonic and went their separate ways. Location, the STC-40. What are we going to do, Douglas? Asked Amy, freaking out from the intense battle on Sonic. Yes, just what are we going to do with no human or other core allies left to help us in this war? Asked Brittany. Before long, even Devon, Chad, Peter, Jack, and Andrew began asking Douglas question after question about what the team's next move was going to be with the core in ruins. I'm going to pause the video. The trash truck just decided to show up. Okay, I think he's gone. Enough! Yelled Douglas. Everyone on the command bridge was silent and looked at Douglas. Devon, take us to the planet Disaster Master, ordered Douglas. Sure thing, replied Devon. For what for when no core or regime forces are on the planet? Asked Jack. Stop asking questions and I will answer you, screamed Douglas. Douglas began to cry and give up hope of ever defeating the regime, with no army, no generals, and no great advisors like the Holy Trinity. The core is no more, and the regime has won the final war, said Douglas, ending his crying. The team members looked at each other and realized that although they had the Book of Power, it was nothing special until they located the other 7 relics. Douglas is right, said Chad. What do you mean? Asked Peter. There are only 2,000 humans and angels combined on New Heaven and New Earth. We don't have the numbers to launch another assault or even protect ourselves from being attacked, said Chad. You are wrong with them not being protected, said Douglas. What protection does the asteroid belt provide against the regime? Asked Chad. The regime does not possess the technology for energy engines yet, so they can't enter their fleet, said Douglas. After placing all the pieces of the puzzle together, everyone realized a terrible truth. The core was dead. Why are we headed for the planet Disaster Master? Asked Peter. That will be our new home while we wait for a sign to continue the war. Without help from other life forms in the universe, we will only journey throughout the universe on a suicide mission to travel to every planet to locate the relics, said Douglas. Location, regime ship, with Halo and his generals. Commander, our screens have detected the location of Unit Alpha's ship, said Darth Upday. Where is it and where is it headed? Asked Halo. Scans have determined it is called the STC-40, is in Sector 3 and headed for the planet Disaster Master, replied Darth Upday. Great work, Darth Upday. Octopunny, take your Colton force and kill Douglas finally, unlike on Earth, said Halo Shadow. Understood, Commander, answered Octopunny. Commander, with your permission, I would like to accompany Octopunny to make sure the mission is completed all the way, said Darth Upday, really just wanting to end the hate between him and Halo. Halo looked at Satan and Octopunny, wondering why he should do this. The generals gave a grin to signal he could do no harm, and Halo made his decision. Go ahead and prove yourself to me, Darth Upday, said Halo. Darth Upday, Octopunny, and the Colton force of 1,000 regime left to eliminate the one of pure blood, while Halo and Satan took the regime fleet to the planet Lambda. Why are we traveling to the planet Lambda? Asked Satan. We're going to make an alliance with creatures called Terror. Here we go, guys. We are going to make an alliance with creatures called Transformers. There are 2 types of Transformers, good and evil. We're going to meet up with the evil Transformers leader and gain a powerful ally to help rule this universe, said Halo. Who is the leader of the evil Transformers? Asked Satan. His name is Shockwave, replied Halo. Location, the STC-40. Douglas, we have arrived at the planet Disaster Master, said Devon. Unit Alpha looked out of the glass window from the command bridge as Devon piloted the spacecraft in hovering mode to realize it was similar to Yan 4. Scans show no civilization or creatures anywhere, said Amy. That is just a beautiful planet with pine trees, enormous caves, and towering waterfalls, said Jack. Devon, land the ship in that cave over there, said Douglas, pointing at a cave with a waterfall for a door. Devon carefully placed the ship into the cave and landed it without any problems. Unit Alpha exited out of the ship without weapons, walked up to the waterfall doorway, and looked at the dazzling terrain and peaceful atmosphere. This, my friends, is our new home, said Douglas. After Douglas spoke these words, he wondered if the Holy Trinity survived the pile of landmines. He also thought about where Ashbeka was being held prisoner, knowing that because Morg was dead, Ash was no longer mind-controlled. Let's get some sleep, shall we? Said Douglas. Unit Alpha turned around, and all of a sudden, an odd roaring sound was made. What was that? Asked Andrew. The roaring sound was made again, and the team realized it was coming from within the thick pine tree forest. I thought your scans stated nothing alive was on the planet to be concerned about, Amy, said Douglas. They scan properly for living organic and skin surrounding life forms, said Amy. Then, what is it out there that is not one of those things? Asked Peter. Douglas and his unit rushed out of the cave, through the waterfall, and behind a fallen log to get a better look at what was on the planet Disaster Master with them. The team members slowly lifted their heads above the log so only the top of their heads and eyes were visible to whatever was coming towards them, while smashing and roaring continued to be felt and heard. Everyone, be silent, said Douglas. Suddenly, the roaring and smashing ceased quickly. The group looked around to get a look at the thing making all the noise, but nothing was around. Where are you? Asked Douglas very silently. Suddenly, 6 odd creatures walked out of the pine trees and in front of the group. The unit lowered their bodies flat to the ground while still behind the log and used holes in the log to see the creatures. What are those things? Asked Chad, silently. Looks like the myth of robotic T-Rexes are true, said Andrew, silently. Robotic T-Rexes? Asked Brittany, in a confused tone, while still talking silently. Yes, they are known to be very hard to kill, because of the metal they are made of. They don't think, they only eat. They have a stomach of a furnace, yet it is placed so carefully in their bodies so it can't melt the creatures from the inside out. They are a perfect killing machine, said Andrew softly. Let's get back to the STC-40 and seal off the cave to protect ourselves, said Douglas. The team slowly retreated back into the cave by crawling on the ground while the 6 robotic T-Rexes roared among each other. After crawling endlessly on the dirt ground, the team rushed back on board the ship, grabbed their weapons, raced out of the ship, and began hearing the sound of another ship landing nearby. Are we having someone meeting us here? Asked Chad. No, no one from the Corps knew we would be here, said Douglas, hinting at the fact the regime followed them to the planet. The team raced out of the cave, past the waterfall entrance, and behind bulky rocks and fallen logs to see who was landing a ship. While every team member spread out behind cover, Douglas looked at the ship to see 6 X's on the front of the ship. Who is it? Asked Chad. I don't think it is the Corps, because Corps ships would have 3 O's on their fronts and O's on their wings. This ship has a completely different design, said Douglas. Seconds later, the ship landed on the ground, and Darth Octe Punny and 1,000 Coltons walked out of the ship with odd markings. Now we know what a regime ship and fighter looks like, said Andrew. Hey guys, where did the robotic T-Rexes go? Asked Jack. The regime ship must have scared them off, said Andrew, being very close to his brother's position. Search the area. The scans show that Unit Alpha landed here and not... Search the area. The scans show that Unit Alpha landed here and have not moved since, said Octopunny to his Coltons, also being overheard by Unit Alpha. We have to make a move, Douglas, said Devon. I know, but I'm not sure what course of action to take with us outnumbered greatly and have no idea where the robotic T-Rexes are at, replied Douglas. The Coltons began searching every area of the forest and eventually began heading towards the group. Let's give the regime another taste of death, said Douglas, aiming his blaster rifle at the incoming Coltons. The rest of the team aimed their blasters at the Coltons, and suddenly a loud roaring sound was made from behind the unit. Darth Update, Octopunny, the Coltons, and Unit Alpha looked to see the pack of 6 robotic T-Rexes in front of the cave to the STC-40, and Unit Alpha behind. This is not going to go as smooth as I planned, said Douglas. Seconds later, chaos began as Unit Alpha, the regime forces, and the pack of robotic T-Rexes clashed against each other. Chapter 10: The Fallen Dreamers. Gunfire from blaster rifles began engulfing the battle area as the 3 sides fought against the other armies. After battling it out, Unit Alpha and the army of Coltons came face to face with each other with their guns ready to blast each other to the death. However, They looked at the robotic dinosaurs and realized working together would be the only way to defeat the creatures. "We will finish our differences later," said Douglas. "Agreed," said the Colton general. Quickly, the regime forces in Unit Alpha began working together to take down the gigantic robotic dinosaurs. Coltons were constantly being tossed into the creatures' mouths and being burned alive in the dinosaurs' furnace-like stomach. After 3 minutes of firing upon the robotic T-Rexes, Douglas decided to try something different besides his blaster rifle. Douglas activated his lightsaber, leaped onto a dinosaur's neck by teleporting, and slashed his lightsaber into the neck several times until the head came apart. Moments later, Darth Update and Octopunny were doing the same thing, and seconds later, the robotic T-Rexes were defeated. Now we can take care of our primary mission," said Darth Update, watching Douglas deactivate his lightsaber and pull out his blaster rifle. The regime forces and Unit Alpha took cover behind logs, rocks, and dinosaur remains to battle it out with lightsabers and blaster rifles. As the battle raged on, the unit of 9 members held on with little hope, surviving the attack and realizing at the same time this could be their fall. After 2 minutes of firing at the enemy, a tragic event took place. One that Douglas and the rest of the team never thought would ever happen in the midst of the firefight or the war. Andrew Woodson was shot in the right hand. "Andrew!" yelled Jack, seeing his brother in pain and unable to move because of the intense firing pinning him down. "Jack, you can't help me!" yelled Chad, next to Jack. "I have to help him!" yelled Jack, seeing Andrew's arm bleeding green blood because he and Jack were mummies. Jack left the protection of cover and began running over to his brother's position, yet he was shot in the head within 3 seconds of leaving his cover. "No!" yelled Chad. Eventually everyone saw the dead body of Jack Woodson lying on the ground and cried for the loss while still fighting the regime forces. "Colton General, toss a grenade to put them out of their pain," said Darth Update. The Colton General tossed a grenade, but his aim was terrible, and instead of landing near the main group, it landed near Andrew. Douglas, Devon, Amy, Brittany, Chad, Peter, and Laura watched as the grenade exploded and engulfed the other Dreamer mummy in flames. The flames from the explosion were so intense that it turned the bodies of Andrew and Jack to dust because of being so close to each other. "Retreat to the cave!" yelled Douglas, realizing his team was now only 7 members. Unit Alpha raced inside of the cave, while Douglas and Peter turned the few remaining Coltons on fire using their powers. While Douglas and Peter returned into the cave to meet up with Unit Alpha, Darth Update picked up a rocket launcher, and Octopunny became shocked that his battalion of Colton forces were killed either by the robotic T-Rexes or Unit Alpha. Unit Alpha took cover to shoot Darth Update and Octopunny if they entered the cave. However, Darth Update had a better strategy to end the team's constant interruption of Halo's plans. Darth Update aimed and fired the rocket launcher. A rocket fired out of the chamber, impacted the walls of the cave, and caused the rocks around the waterfall to crumble downwards and seal off the cave's doorway, still allowing the waterfall to flow. Once the dust cloud settled, Douglas and his unit realized they were trapped inside of the cave. "We have no way out of here now," said Laura, starting to go crazy. "Pull yourself together, Laura. We can escape this cave by Douglas teleporting or us using the STC-40's energy engines," said Chad, gripping a hold of Laura. "Why even leave this cave when we will end up just like the fallen Dreamers?" asked Douglas, giving up all hope. Darth Update and Octopunny walked over to a rock to see lots of green blood stains on it and realized Jack and Andrew Woodson were dead. "The rest of the team will die of hunger while trapped in that cave," said Octopunny. "Let's inform Mr. Halo Shadow of our success," said Darth Update. The 2 regime generals boarded the regime ship, left the planet Disaster Master, and headed for the planet Lambda. Location: Sector 13, Macong. "How are you doing on the regime's city base planet, Mr. the Chosen One?" said Nikolai Sith. "I am fine, and you should be concerned," said Ashbeka, in a prison cell with Nikolai outside of it. "Why should I be afraid?" asked Nikolai. Because in Douglas's dreams, I kill you, and it will also happen in reality in the near future, said Nikolai. You can't kill me when you're my prisoner, said Nikolai, laughing because of his 5,000 T-180 army at his command. Once I break out of this cell twice, you will want to run for your life, Nikolai, said Ash. Why twice? Asked Nikolai. The first time will be to get a layout of the base, and the second time will be when I escape for good, said Ash. We will see about that, said Nikolai. Location, Sector 13, Disaster Master. Douglas, I know that you have given up all hope of defeating the regime, but we can still try, said Amy. Your wife was right, Commander. If we can defeat an army of 1,000 troops with a little aid of dinosaurs, I think we can search the universe for the other relics, said Chad. Douglas looked at his unit, which was with him on the STC-40's command bridge, and gained a little hope and courage. Devon, activate energy engines to get us back into the universe. We're going to become hunters for the remaining relics, even if we have to search all 54 planets to complete the mission, said Douglas. Douglas Armstrong, Amy Armstrong, Devon Armstrong, Brittany Lewis, Chad Taylor, Laura Strong, and Peter Arnold looked at each other to realize they were now hunters of relics while being hunted by the regime. Energy engines are ready, Douglas, said Devon. Then let the hunt begin, Unit Alpha, and let's get one step closer to ending the final war, said Douglas. Devon activated the energy engines, and Unit Alpha left the planet Disaster Master to travel to another part of the universe. I hope we can find another home planet for humans to live on, besides New Heaven and New Earth. I miss my home, and many others do. To us few, Earth is just a memory, said Douglas in his mind. And that is it, guys. We have finished The Final War, Regime Rising, the first chapter, part 4, and we've concluded the entire book. Look forward to The Final War, Hunters Hunted, Overview and Introduction, and all the parts of that book coming out very soon. You guys all have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream, whether it be here on YouTube or at Twitch at Douglas447. Bye, guys.